people who've known me before from the run 2 years ago or from any other game from 2016 onwards. We're playing Wario Land 4. We're doing Japanese, and the only reason for that is I have the Japanese cartridge in my DS as I was booting this up, so there you go. No version differences. Pretty good game. So before we start off, there's one little bit of speed tech that is unlocking S-Hard. Unlocking S-Hard saves 4 frames on every soft reset because animations. But yeah. You want to count me down, duncte?
Sure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, so we're gonna start with a soft reset to skip a cutscene because cutscenes are for slow games, and this is not a slow game. The very first level of the game is Hall of Hieroglyphs, your standard tutorial level. The ideas of the movement are on the wall, so we're just going to ignore them and go explain some real speed tech. The real speed tech, for one, is holding R. R makes you go fast. Secondly, every level has 4 of these chest pieces and a keyser. The chest pieces are needed to unlock the boss, and the keyser isn't used to unlock the next level. Yeah, water's in the game. Water's not the best. Here is a little mechanic known as corner boosting. Every time you cross a corner while jumping, you save a pixel in a frame. And you'll see me sliding a lot. Sliding's usually a faster way to get into most cavities that are 1 high. And it also lets you instantly roll. Here's the keyser we spoke of earlier. And our last chest piece. Yeah, the first level really doesn't have that much to explain, so if there's a quick donation, feel free to go ahead.
We currently do not have any donations, but I can say that these BSG announcements are brought to you by the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure microphone you are hearing right now.
Sweet. But yeah, you'll see me soft reset right after every level. And with that, I would like to add a short photosensitivity warning. Every time you enter a level, there will be a bit of a hefty animation playing. So for those that do have some photosensitivity, once you hear the level music, you're good to go. And this is our first boss of the game with a developer-intended cheese. We're basically going to jump right over him, hit him in the back a bunch of times, and that's it. This fight is about 12 seconds and a few frames long. So the idea here is you charge up an R dash, and at the very end, you use a B dash to hit him. And we get the soft reset right after, because the very first frame that you kill the boss or enter a portal, the game saves. So from there, you can soft reset, skip the level unlock animation and all the other stuff. And here's the first real level of the game. This is Crescent Moon Village. You might be surprised with us starting on Sapphire, which is the hardest passage in the game. We do that because these levels are actually hard in the speedrun as well. And 2 of them have a very tight trick. At some point, that can just kill your run straight up. This one does have it a bit later. And the level up next has it, I think, about like 5.5 minutes into the run. Yeah, you'll see us use the enemy throw for the first time, where we throw an enemy midair, land on it on the right frame, and just get a bounce. And the rest is just hold R and go forward. This one room here has had a bit of tech change, so we used to be able to, or we used to go up the ladder, but the switch is just low enough to be able to hit it with the enemy. Pretty neat little time save. And this is our first instance of speed management. If I did get this right, I would have optimal speed and I could run through these blocks straight up. Here you can do a B dash up the wall, get enough speed, and just run through them normally. And here's our second instance of the frog switch. So the frog switch is where the level basically folds in on itself, and you have to go back to the very start. Most levels are pretty linear in that regard. They just go back from when you came, but some other levels have a completely different route attached to them with some pieces hidden. This one's just kind of convenient on the back. That ghost, by the way, for one, is my profile picture, and secondly, he steals your ghost. He's not the kindest guy. If he does steal the ghost, the doors to go back into the housing are both closed, and you have to get your keyser back before you can enter. So this is the very first run killer of the game. We're gonna bounce this enemy off the wall and then do a second jump off of it. in order to reach this piece. We used to be able to do this earlier, but the reroute ended up being slightly faster just because we don't have to climb the ladder on the way back. So you saw me kind of run into this enemy here. This is like a one-frame trick that you sometimes just don't get. It doesn't really change that much, but you do have to keep it in mind because you do need to kill the enemy on the way back. And that's our second level of the game done, and one of the harder ones out of the way. So up next we have Arabian Night, a level that's fairly straightforward, aside from maybe 2 or 3 tricky jumps. So you might have noticed a theme between the passages. Sapphire is horror-themed, Topaz, which you'll see later, is toy-themed. We have Ruby Passage, which has more of an industrial feel, and Emerald, which is a nature-themed passage. And up next, we have the least favorite part of the run for me. This carpet is extremely jank to control. As you can see, that's about the worst thing that can happen. Luckily, it does respawn at the bottom, so we just get to go all the way back up. Grab the piece here, and we'll be moving on. Those carpets are extremely jank. Their movement's very delayed as far as the jumps are concerned. So it goes up a good few frames after the jump itself, and the angle is kind of dictated by your momentum, but not really. It's kind of a tough one to explain. So these pipes change the enemies in the room from bats to bees, or from the spiky things to the bat, which is the little puzzle here to solve and get the Keyser. And I guess this is also a good time to explain the difficulty settings, because there are multiple difficulties. There's normal, hard, and S-hard. It doesn't change the level of layout that much, but it does change where the pieces and the Keyser spawn, and the diamonds. But yeah, you know, we're not score runners. You should watch the all diamond run by Shasta though, and that's the big level killer there. It's a very tough trick to set up because you have like a 2 to 3 pixel range to get a right place to throw the enemy up and do a bounce on top of them. Bit of swimming here. Swimming in this game also kind of weird. If you hit the swim foot exactly 2 frames after the last one, it will keep your direction. So you can kind of just get locked into some unfortunate angles, such as being locked into going down here. But yeah, again, fairly straightforward level as is. And up next, we have the actual hardest level in the game, much in thanks to the reroute that happened not too long ago. So I will be focusing up for the first bit here. This one's kind of hard to land. So the idea is you can get a nice jump through and just skip that lava flow barely. It's one of the tougher things to hit. And the main reason that matters is because your health management is actually important in this part. Entering the next screen, we would like to be on 4 hearts optimally. See if we can get it here. Okay, we did get on 4 hearts, so that's nice. There's a good few backups. You just do have to be a bit slower. If that wouldn't happen, there is a heart on the right on this screen, and we just grab it and move on. Okay, we can do a turn frame while we're getting hit, and then it'll launch us the other direction. That was really close to going badly. That's where the other piece of furniture that comes in this run, doors. A lot of the doors are slightly misaligned to the left, so entering the door can cause some issues from time to time. I have lost runs to that lava hitting me again because I wasn't paying attention. Anyone here like ice mechanics, by the way, in the audience? You're all wrong. Nobody likes ice. Ice in this game is a bit jank, like it is in many games from this era. These snowballs are on a cycle. It's completely fine, but ice basically just is very slippery unless you have full speed. Luckily, we do get to keep full speed here. I also tried this trick once because it's a funny IL thing to show off. It did not get the jump. You can do an enemy jump with the heavier enemies. It's just a lot harder to set up. Just gets you on the platform, lets you get the Keyser, and keep slightly more momentum. Speaking of Yetis, they're also part of the ice mechanic. You can get frozen by them, and you'll get launched into a wall and just have to walk back. That Yeti specifically is a bit of a dingus. But yeah, this is also one of the few levels that actually has a complete reroute on the way back. And up next is Hotel Horror. Honestly, this might be the most straightforward level in the game, except we do it in reverse. So normally you should be entering that portal from the left side there. Luckily, there's an enemy right here, so we can just jump outside and take the stairs. If I could get a mid-air jump, that is. Yeah, we'll just take the stairs up top. It's, you know, it's a hotel. Kind of wonder if there's one here, but I'm gonna assume it is. And we'll just go to room 401 to grab our keyser, which we will also skip the puzzle for because of an enemy bounce. You're gonna see this more often, trust me. And this is kind of where the route converges back. Like, usually you're supposed to go to 202 and go up to 201, and I don't know, the route's kind of jank. We'll just do it our way. It's a bit faster. I think it saves like 10 seconds. Pretty cool reroute done by, I want to say Becco or Green Bean way back in the day. Yeah, this is the normal route again. We'll be going room 404. Is it room 404? I thought it wasn't, you know, I thought it wasn't a real thing, but apparently it's real. It's just in the game. It's been in the game all along. Skip another puzzle, doing an enemy bounce. Again, you will be seeing this more often. I will be going underneath, get a quick zombie Wario transformation, which lets us go through the floor here. And we are in room 303. And this is where you would normally start the level, except we're just going back down, because going up a ladder is extremely slow, and ladders are not the best go-to thing in the game. That's alright, though. And up next, we have the best boss in the game, which the task thread has become RTA viable in the last 2 years. And with viable, I mean it's hard. Surprise. We'll see if we can get it. We'll just focus up and see what happens. But the idea is we found a way to get double hits on this boss by hitting a B-dash and then B-dashing off of the wave. It's a very tight window, so we'll see how that ends up going. All right, there's one. That was slightly too early. So yeah, that's where the jank part of this boss comes in. If you're too fast or too slow, it just ends up going badly. Luckily, you get a worse punishment for going fast. That was not gonna make it. Pretty alright cat bat, I'd say. So yeah, the bat's kind of dead, so we just have cat. And we did get the in-between it. Very cool. So you can very easily transition into the second phase from 2 different angles. One of them is bouncing off a wave right after he spawns it, and the other one is doing an in-between jump. And there's Catbat. And up next we have Topaz Passage, which again is our toy theme passage. I think Grumpmeister really likes this song out of memory. Bye, Grumpmeister. It was fun. See you later. Yeah, Grumpmeister doesn't really like this song. I don't know why. It's kind of a banger, I'd say. And honestly, the entire music theme being very like jazz-ish, very blues jazz and all that good stuff. Big fan. Yeah, this level's idea is mainly the respawnable cat blocks you'll see a bunch of times, and just the putting the triangle in not the square hole, question mark? Not sure why that's a thing. I thought everything went into the square hole. Have to be explained, somebody has to explain that to me later. As you can see, those blue blocks, they are closed off until you hit the switch. And there's the inactive ones as well that turn active once you hit them. Also, like, those cars are like really weird, right? Like, imagine seeing your face on a toy car just as you're casually walking through the world. I don't know. I don't know what the developers were on making these enemies, but I'm all here for it. This is good stuff. quick super ground pound cancel on either an enemy, and actually just anything that isn't the floor, your ground pound just like kind of cancels. It's really nice. All right, so putting our last triangle in the not square hole just to grab our last piece here. And that's toy block. So up next we have my favorite level in the game, which also had a reroute recently. This is based on a board game, except you actually control the dice. Hey, look! Gruntmeister's back. Wonder what happened. Yeah, I agree. It's going pretty well. Yeah, the idea of this is just playing a board game. I don't know the exact order. You just have to see it on screen. The order is basically fixed. These are on a cycle the moment you do spawn them in. And we are trying to avoid the Wario as much as possible. They usually are a transformation that's very slow, like extra large Wario and fire Wario and all that good stuff. You could dash through and get a 4 here instantly. It's just really hard to hit. You basically just have to get the jumps clean and you're good to go. So this is the new bit. You can actually just chain into a Wario tile here with the double 4 and just skip the slow platforming upward. And this is my favorite post-fold, which is finishing the board game. And I think a lot of the people here do like board games, so I just spare you the details. We roll a bunch of 6s. And maybe we get to buffer them. So you can get those numbers twice in a row if you both buffer your jump and get a ground pound, because the ground pound does increase your vertical speed. They're not easy to hit. They're like 2-frame windows, I'm pretty sure. Did buffer 2 of those early, but that's all right. This game is hard. Yeah, you do have to align perfectly for the goal, so say I was 1 space away and rolled a 6, it would put me back by 5. And I have to roll a 5 to get it. Luckily, we do know the route. Finish the game, get the Keyser, kill the guy, and be on our way back. This level has a lot of listening for me. I use a lot of these crystals as an audio cue in order to go forward as fast as possible. I also like, as a small detail, I really like these Lego looking trees. Like the very like 90s The Zero's Lego looking trees. They're very fun. This is like one of those nice details. So to further our items in the toy box, we have paintings, which includes my favorite enemy in the game, August, also known as Picasso. He just draws enemies on the screen. He's not that much of a nuisance. He tries to be. He's trying his best, and we appreciate him for it. Yeah, piece number 1 in here. There's a really nice new enemy bounce there, where you hit both blocks. And this is the second bit of jumping off of poles and hopefully getting the right speed, which we did get this time. Redemption for Crescent Moon Village. Always feels good. So missing that actually puts you in a kind of bad cycle where the pig can just spawn one of those flying enemies, and that will get in your way. And this is another really big reroute on the fold. And this has one of the 2 tricks that have been done by humans that I really do not want to touch, mainly because, for one, I haven't practiced them that much, and 2, they're really hard. So the trick coming up, you can use this pig to do a wall bounce off of this chest, which disappears the moment you try to go for it, and get around that way. It saves like a second. It's just kind of too hard to go for right now. We'll just take the good old route. We have Picasso making a return. Do I get speed? I do not get speed, unfortunately. Okay, so here I jumped to spawn this enemy in the left side, to line these 2 up to do a double bounce. So normally you're supposed to hit those 2 pencils and go upwards, but again, we skipped the puzzle with an enemy bounce. This time we used 2 because we do technically skip 2 pencils. Yeah, very solid Doodle Woods, I'd say. And up next we have Domino Roll, and the idea of Domino is you beat the dominoes to the punch. So while I go through that somewhat slow and auto-scroller-ish process, duncte, do you have any words?
Yes, I do, because the next run after this one has an currently open bid war. And as you can see in the bottom of the screen, it is super close between Luigi or Mario. So if you want to change the polls or make sure that Luigi wins by a landslide, donate now, ! Donate in the chat, and make sure to select this bid war as an incentive. And then you can change the tides.
Honestly, I think we have the M on the W for Wumbo, and I think that should just be Luigi, so we can keep the M on W. We can keep the L.
So that means everyone should just donate to Luigi then.
Exactly. Honestly, Luigi is also just a better character, but you know, that's personal preference. The W for Wumbo, that's a real thing. Here's a combination of some of the worst mechanics in the game. We have ladders, swimming, and vertical platforming, which on a 3x2 screen is a little rough at times. Little damage boost here to get on the platform. And honestly, if you have another message, like there is time.
Absolutely, because you know what are you donating towards? Well, if you donate, you can win some awesome prizes. For example, if you donate a minimum of 40 euros over the course of the entire event, you can win a Luit Ray microphone, which is honestly really awesome. I bought one myself because as BSG staff, I can't win those prizes. And you definitely want to win this because for 40 bucks, that's a killer deal. You can also win a Sonic Frontiers for the PS4 copy. That's a minimum donation of 15 euros. We have an awesome Majora's Mask displayed for 20 euros of donations. And if you donate 10 euros, you can win either a BSG poster, a Tanuki Sunset game key, or a Mario puzzle in a nice tin box.
Alright, I'm not staff anymore. I can donate again.
I mean,
nice.
you can still donate even if you're staff. You just can't win prizes.
True. I mean, I did already donate earlier for those who were here on Sunday. I should probably do another one. It's for charity after all. We all love charity here. Okay, here's the only real risk of dying. If your health state's bad, you would be at -1, and this jump is kind of awful to do when you have only 1 health. It's not only is it very slow, it's also just, I think, about as hard as just doing the damage boost as is, so I'm happy to be able to avoid that. Up next we have the easiest boss in the game. It's easy to kill, it's really frustrating to do fast, it's not necessarily hard. So the gist of this boss is you have to knock the bear upside down and hit the rat. However, the hitbox is kind of tight, and the moment you hit the bear twice, it will float all the way back up and lose about 10 to 15 seconds per cycle, so let's see how the visual cue holds up today. Quickly bonking into the boss to make him float up slightly faster. Ah, rough. And that was slightly too early, so now he's out of reach. And we'll just have to try again. Yeah, this boss is a known run killer for any level of player, really. Like, once your rhythm is off, it's kind of just doomed. We do just get the chain hits on the guy, so hopefully it doesn't end up being a true disaster. It has before. Many world record runs have died. Alright, only 2 cycle. Could be way worse. This boss is definitely not my favorite. On a good day, it doesn't matter. You just pass it. On a bad day, you just go plus 45 and yeah, next run, I guess. And here we go into the industrial themed area, starting with honestly the weirdest level, which is the Curious Factory. It mainly plays around these cogwheels that you do want to stand on as they move because you do get increased speeds. And those flatteners, honestly, those things, they are very slow because Flat Wario moves very slowly and he does not recover until he goes into those machine chamber-looking things. That was way closer than it should be. All right, there's conveyor belts too. You kind of just ignore them. I just push you one way, back and forth. Yeah, the fault is pretty straightforward. So, duncte, if you have any donations or whatever, you can do a quick one.
We do indeed have a €3 donation from Wumdi, saying it's set to M for Mario, but it should be set to W for Luigi? The VIP lounge is cozy, buddy. Keep it up, and that of course goes to Luigi for the Mario bid, putting Luigi in the lead with €104.
Let's go! I think we can increase that lead a bit, right? What do you think? Yeah, those chests are also kind of interesting. The outer 2 to 3 pixels, you can actually stand on without grabbing the piece, so the thing doesn't despawn, and you can B-dash off of it to go over some enemies. And up next is the Toxic Landfill, also known as my chat room from time to time. This level is fairly straightforward. There's one big trick, and there's a lot of just normal platforming. Starting off with killing this monkey in order to get a super ground pound instead of becoming large Wario and taking out the block that way. Quickly do a ladder, cancel the ladder, and do super ground pound off that. And honestly, my favorite room in the game, this one. It's very simple, but it's a very good test of speed management. So once Wario reaches full speed, you are only able to do full jumps. But if you release R and press A a frame or two after, you keep maximum speed while being able to do smaller hops, which is a lot better on that screen specifically. See if we hit it today. We did miss monkey jump, so you can barely jump with the gap with the monkey in the ceiling. If you do, you land just on the edge. The monkey throws the apple, you become large Wario, and you get to go down the gap instantly. And what goes down must come up, so we'll use Spring Wario to grab the teaser over here. And we go back down again. And this is the true landfill area. You can see some old TVs, some couches, some... I honestly don't know what that is. Just some compacted metal, most likely. Maybe an old PC. Dead runs. The usual, really. And this is the other way to become Balloon Mario. So not only does getting stung by bees turn you into Balloon, also arrows do for some reason. Don't ask. I have no clue either. And this is 40 below fridge. It's cold, it's ice. And you know what I think about ice. And we also know what the audience thinks about ice, which extremely wrong opinion. There are 2 games that do ice well, and none of them are Wario Land 4, sadly. God, I wish. So yeah, we'll skip the puzzle with an enemy bounce. Seen it all before. You B-dash to not get hit by the Yeti. And this is the level where snowballs really matter. So these snowballs are on a cycle of about 4 seconds, and there's a few really tight ones that we do want to hit. And again, going on full speed lets you ignore the ice mechanics, so we do try to go full speed as much as possible, which luckily is most of the game. And this is the really tough snowball cycle, which sadly missed. You have about 3 frames of lenience to make that. It's really pretty hard. Missing it's kind of fine. There's enough backups. This screen did also get a minor reroute, so doing a B-dash here spawns the platform on the left slightly earlier, and you just get the jump up this way, which is really nice. Jump on here knocks the enemy down. Going left here spawns this snowball earlier, and we get to go down all the way. And again, what comes down must go up. And while we're rolling, Dunk.
Hi, that's me. We currently do not have any new donations, but if you really think Mario should win, it's only like $5 and Mario will win for the next game. Let's see, what do we have? Yes, because do you like skateboards? Do you also like raccoons? Well then, Tanuki Sunset is the game for you. Ride to aesthetically pleasing courses while performing radical tricks. Will you master the way of the board? Check out Tanuki Sunset on Steam and the Nintendo eShop. Plus, if you donate a minimum of €10, that could go to making Mario win, by the way, you will be entered for a chance to win a Steam key.
And this man really wants Mario to win. I think...
I am not biased, legally.
Calm down there, buddy.
Make me.
I'll see you behind the desk in like 20 minutes. Yeah, this screen is also fairly simple. We tried to dodge the snowball instead of hit it for once. And as you saw on a few screens ago, we did get kind of owned by those chess pieces. As I said earlier, the outer 2 to 3 pixels let you stand on them without grabbing the piece. That can hurt sometimes. There's worse chess pieces where that can happen because some places you cannot go back to without restarting the level. So you just have to pay a bit of attention to that one. And now we have the actual hardest level in the game. As of the reroute from about 4 months ago, it saves about 10 to 13 seconds in total with everything we've added, but it's so much worse. Luckily, this screen is kind of the same. So the idea is to get those 4 balls into the machinery, and you get to move on to the next room. Visual clarity, by the way. So this has the tightest cycle of the 4 screens in the reroute. I'm gonna see if I can make this. I think we're fine. We're no longer fine. Oh god, it begins. So yeah, this screen is very punishing, as you can see. There's a few instances of this in pinball where if a ball falls down in the wrong place, you are out of whack on every cycle, and it's really hard to recover. A very punishing level to mess up on. Yeah, I think yellow room is the worst one, just because you have to be all the way at the top, and when they fall down, they fall all the way down. Bit of a rough climb. This one, you don't want to be too early on the super pound, because you both want to break the block and get the ball in. Wait a bit to get the cycle. Go. And up next we have the real start of the reroute. Everything up until here, Words Are Heart, has been very minor. This one has a complete readjustment of which one goes first. So we do go down at the bottom instead of doing them last. To get this one earlier, you do set this ball for a quick grab, which is nice. So the way quick grabs work are if you, of course I get the fake one as well, very cool. The way quick grabs work is if you hit or run into an item, you usually get an animation. If you do that while still in midair, it skips the animation in its entirety. You just kind of instantly grab it, and it's honestly like a very good time save to have over the course of this level, where you do about, I think, 15 in the optimal route. And here we have the escape, which also has seen a reroute. So we get this ball down, do a ground pound, grab the ball mid-air, and it lets you able to get 2 of them down at once. So charge throws take 17 frames. I apparently am not capable of doing 17 frame throws today. We'll make it work somehow. And here we see another jank mechanic of pinball, which I was hoping not to see today, but here we are. Once those 2 balls get really close to another, grabbing them makes you instantly bonk into the other one, and it gets really frustrating really fast. Oh boy, of course. Murphy's Law pinball today, I guess. So optimally, that ball would stay on that platform, and we'd just be able to go back up, but oh well. Sometimes unlucky. In a game without luck, of course. There's no way. There's no way that happened. Where is that ball gone to? Oh, it bounced off the wall, of course. It really is Murphy's Law pinball. Yeah, optimally, you just go right and all those 3 would despawn at once. Sometimes it's just pinball, really. Hardest level in the game. And if not the hardest, the most punishing one for sure. Any mistake just goes really hard on your time loss. That's alright though, the last screen is still here for us. So if we do this fast enough, you get to go underneath that Sparky there. Set up a possible quick grab later, depending on the cycle. Quick grab here in midair. Did get the timing right, did not get the quick grab. It's good enough. Yeah, I don't know, like pinball, sometimes you just go through it and it's absolutely perfect, and sometimes it just wastes you a minute. It is what it is. That's honestly like kind of the joy of this game. You have to think a lot on the fly as far as your backups go, because most games, your rolls are just static, right? Like in DK Country, but for example, when you roll, you just travel the fixed distance. For this game, this basically turns into a precision platformer where, depending on the frame where you hit it, a lot of things can go differently. Okay, this boss is fairly straightforward as well. Claw goes down, hit claw, and phase 2, enemy spawns egg, you hit enemy with egg. I do really like the design of this boss though. Just having a cuckoo clock with the counter inside is very good. So if he does end up grabbing you, he'll just yoink you into one of the saw blades on the side. Luckily though, recently in the test, they found out that you can just double egg this enemy a bunch of times, which is a really nice find. You can technically triple egg by juggling. That's a task strat. Don't believe the lies of Resirun. Oh. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So that's an interesting one. So if you hit the enemy on the wrong frame, he just kind of gets stuck in that animation and just doesn't spawn eggs for a good 5 to 6 seconds. Cool to showcase because it's a frame perfect mistake, but shame it happened. Marathon luck, am I right? Here's the developer intended second level in the game. This one's very straightforward. It's go to switch, walk back, and that's the end of the level really. It's 55 seconds. So duncte, how's our Mario versus the right answer looking?
Well, Luigi is still ahead with 104 euros. But if you really want, which is now apparently the wrong answer to win, you should. I'm not biased, but you should. You can do that by donating at bsgmarathon.com/donate. A measly 5 euros will get Mario ahead of Luigi. Let's see if we can do that before the end of this run.
I should be able to. You have a good like 10 minutes to donate something. Surely the people know what to do. I have faith in you. Don't disappoint. Actually, that's a lie. There is no disappointment. You're donating to charity. Let's not kid ourselves here. Yeah, you can really see that the developer intended route is just to go counterclockwise, but having all the art tricks at the start, for one, makes the run a lot more comfortable to do, but secondly, man, Palm Tree at the end is so relaxed. You just basically get to chill for 3 minutes, and then there's 2 hard levels, and then the end of the game already. So do a quick enemy bounce here. You're supposed to go all the way back up and do a super ground pound, but again, like anything else, we can kind of just do an enemy throw and skip the puzzle. So these are force tides, so you cannot swim against the tide. You can kind of just flow with it, and that's your only way out. But luckily, we do know the puzzle, as you probably should as speedrunners. So we have a one-way trip up to Sunflower. Get a quick piece here. Oh, or zip on the box because we jumped a frame early. Happens. And next is the only real trick in this level. It's very simple platforming otherwise. So this monkey can set up another enemy bounce to skip this puzzle here. This honestly is a lot harder than it looks because of the enemy bouncing off a wall. It can get in your way pretty badly. Yeah, last piece is over here. You can kind of peek it if you you grab the B. That's probably the way the developers want you to discover that piece. Hey gamers, you know what's about as bad as ice? How about liquid ice, also known as water? It's almost ice. It's only a few degrees off. Yeah, this is Mystic Lake. This level's gotten a lot better as time went along. There's a lot of routes that just have good visual cues. It's very straightforward swimming though, like just swim, get out on shore, grab the piece, move on. These fishes do tend to get in the way, as do these torpedo fish. So when they do see you, they charge ahead and hope they hit you. Do want to avoid these two to not become Spring Wario. And here's our favorite bubble screen. Killer of many runs back in the day. You can very easily get caught in them. It will travel you all the way back on top, and you'd have to just swim back down the other way. But luckily we did get it perfectly, so nice to see that one. So hitting the switch here disables the tide on the right bit, meaning you can grab the geezer now. And this is technically not a zip. This is essentially a corner boost. So corner boosts do shove you up a pixel up and to the side of the wall, and that one pixel is exactly enough to get you up on that ledge. Not a zip, by the way. Here the movement mainly is to dodge as many slopes as possible, because slopes are very slightly slower. And that's Mystic Lake. So we have only 3 levels left. And, 2 levels and 2 bosses, really. I kind of disregarded one boss. Yeah, I don't know. Boss isn't that much of a difficulty, usually. But here we have Monsoon. Honestly, this might be the hardest level to learn, because these swings are really hard to get a rhythm for. It's not because the route itself is hard, it's because the backups are really rough. Getting them on the right cycle gets to be very annoying from time to time. So this is one of the few good animation cancels we use. So stomping down with large Wario gets you a shaking animation, but hitting any sort of enemy, or in this case the arrow, does cancel the animation and lets you fall down instantly. Also, as large Wario, you do not take any form of damage, which is really nice. Hardest screen in the game coming up from the last few runs. So a little bit of lore from the stream. I did choke a 25-second ahead pace on record here by getting absolutely demolished by that one. Hope the rain isn't that bad on the bitrate for the techies, I'm sorry. It's really bad sometimes. Yeah, this also has seen a reroute. We used to go all the way right, down, grab the piece, but it turned out it's just faster if you roll into the next screen and cancel the roll on this wall here. You just walk out, grab the piece. And again, ladders are slow. That's the entire point of it, really. Skipping ladders is just a good thing. And I agree, skipping ladders is a good thing. And that's the last level of Emerald Passage. So up next is Cractus. This boss design, I think, is the weirdest one. A lot of people say Catbat's weirder, but I don't know what this is. Like some really weird Venus flytrap looking thing. I don't like it. He's just kind of sleeping. I don't know, like the game kind of forces you to wake up the plant. I don't like it. Just leave him be, you know? Doing nothing wrong. He's just chilling. So I am using an audio cue here, so I'll be silent for a bit. All right, there we go. So essentially, we keep the boss in its angry phase. So whenever you hit it, it just becomes angry and starts chasing you, but you can just chain ground pounds and do it that way. So this is Golden Passage. The unique feature here is that it does not have a pre-fold. It's just go hard all the time. And here's the secret transformation of Salmon Wario, where it allows you to swim against the current. It's not in the guidebook for some reason. I don't know. Feels weird. Yeah, you can kind of just swim in against the current, hit the second pipe here, and skip most of the puzzles as there's no chess pieces there that are well out of the way. But this is basically like a conglomeration of the things you've learned in the last 4 passages. It's a really cool level when done normally, but I haven't done that in, I think, 4 years when I unlocked S-Hard on this cartridge. Yeah, there's a really cool new trick here. I'm gonna go for it. It's really tough, and it might backfire really bad, but you know, it's always worth a shot. It's a marathon. We're doing this for fun. So you can hit this professor in midair. Shame I was a bit early there. But you can hit him, do a throw off of the chest there without grabbing the piece, and it'll hit both blocks, and it'll allow you to roll back through. Sadly, you can just... Oh, sadly we didn't hit it, but luckily for us, we can just grab the piece, bounce off the box, go back up, and just do it the old way. They're very much an IL strat still, but whenever I am on a good run, I just go for it, because why not? And yeah, here's the only chess piece that's kind of out of the way. It's all the way at the start. Has a bit of a tight puzzle. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. We're going fast here. This Yeti here, by the way, that's the worst one in the game. Casually. A lot of people might have had bad memories of that guy launching you all the way back into the water. But yeah, that's the last level of the game. On to our good friend Golden Diva, which also has a reroute. I really hope it's going fine. And luckily for me, there's a minute-long cutscene. So duncte, your time is now.
My time indeed is now, because we have 10 euros from Casito saying, Mario, Mario, Mario!
Mom. What are you doing?
It says Luigi 3 times, but I said Mario instead.
The bait and switch.
The bait and switch. Yes, that 10 euros is going to the Mario versus Luigi who will fly to the Mario Worlds. Luigi is currently ahead with 114 euros. So it takes 115 euros to make Mario win. We can do this, chat.
You can also donate like 1 cent less and get maximum money to charity. Just consider that, okay?
That is also a very, very good
Or just
idea.
donate to Luigi and make the lead bigger and donate to charity. I don't know. There's no losing here.
Also, there is plenty more incentives open. Let me quickly check those. Because you can... Oh, I can't click right now because I...
Oh, we'll resume commentary then. So this is... Yeah. The final boss of the game. Has a bunch of phases. The first one is the mask phase, which honestly is the hardest one in the game. It's very hard to get tight enough. There is also a new cycle that's been discovered that makes it even worse to do because you have, I think, 4 frames of leeway. We did not make it, sadly, but that's okay. There's a lot of other strats. So we used to be able to just chain the hammer. We found a strat that was ever so slightly faster about half a year ago when the task was being made, where you grab this ball midair, hit her with the ball, grab the hammer, go back up instantly, and just skip the egg phase entirely. So she goes through this attacks normally for the first 8 hits, and the last bit she just chains them this way. So optimally you would hit her with the hammer, get her into the crack this ball phase, and then do crack this ball plus egg. Sadly we did miss the egg, so we have to do the other backup. This spawns hammer, yeah. So we'll wait for the crack ball. That's slightly faster to go for as you're in a better position for the last phase. She genuinely just spawned that ball underneath. That's rude. Wow. So yeah, throwing an enemy into that ball is the last bit. Time coming up on the lip hit, by the way. And time. Oh, time. That's not a bad run. It was a bit jank. Some things went wrong. Tried to showcase some IL strats and failed in a very comedic manner. Very good. Could be worse. Thank you all for being here, except for Grump and Nandi during Toy Block Tower. Thank you all for donating to the event, the tech crew for setting me up nicely, and everyone who donated so far, because you are absolute legends.
Yes, and before we go to the intermission, there is still time to donate to the incentive during that intermission.
Donate to Luigi.
Or Mario. We're not... It will close at the start of the run, so you can still donate. But this was it for me. I'll be signing off and yeeting you all into the hands of Tiny Tim. Thank you, Sniper, for the amazing run. And if you're here at the venue, I'll see you walking around.